It's a new reading in 2017, and reading has focus on three parts. The first part is discussion on human capital. Okay, so human capital, and it's a very interesting perspective. So what it says is that when you are advising some clients, so you look at what is the financial capital of your clients, right? So you would look at what is the equity portfolio, bond portfolio, real estate. So that's their financial portfolio. But one other asset that we have, but we do not explicitly take that into consideration, but we should, is human capital. And the easiest way to think of human capital is the present value of all the future salary that you're going to earn. Okay, and then they've said when you build portfolio, then you should also be looking at human capital as one of the asset in the portfolio, and then also see the correlation between human capital and financial capital. Okay, to me particularly, I find this very interesting because like you discuss with any client, especially in markets like ours in India, where IT industry is so dominant. So you discuss with these IT guys, and many of them understand IT business very well, and therefore they are generally parked into those companies. Like someone working in Infosys would have some big part of his portfolio invested into Infosys. Now, his human capital is a direct function of how the IT industry behaves in India. Are you following this? And his financial capital also has a direct function of how IT industry behaves. So there is a positive correlation between the two. So you have a high risk portfolio there. So when you build portfolio or when you do asset allocation decision, you should be looking at human capital. That's the first part. Then the second part, they have discussion on insurance. Okay, and like with insurance, there are contradictory opinions given within the CFA Level 3 curriculum. Whether insurance should be seen as a very high risk investment or it should be seen as a low risk investment. Because one opinion is that, especially a term insurance, it gives you a payoff only when certain event happens. Correct? And that event is the individual's death. So, so they have kind of compared that with a binary option, right? Yes or no. If it is yes, this is a payoff. If no, it's not a payoff. So that means it is a risky product to be purchased because it goes into derivative section. But the another view is that you should be buying insurance because in case if things go wrong, which is a conservative way of looking at it, then there should be sufficient cash flow to be generated to take care of your expenses. I mean your family's expenses. Okay, so we will have good discussion on insurance, different type of insurance products, and things around that. And then in the last part, we would have discussion on risk management. Okay, so you should be identifying for an individual all the risks that is exposed to. Risk like number A, he might lose his job. Okay, or risk that he might have some sort of a disability. Okay, so then identify all the risk and then identify which risk we should totally avoid, which risk we should transfer, or which risk we should reduce, or which risk we should take exposure to, and then how to do that. Are we okay with this? So this case has a very high probability of fitting into very neatly into a morning section paper. Okay, an individual, so they might have a discussion on individual and they could add 1 or 2 paragraphs towards the end discussing on risk management. Okay, and therefore, and since it's a new reading, I guess we have a higher probability of being tested. So important from exam perspective. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this reading in 2 layers. In the first layer, we are going to build an overview, but will be a little faster. In the second layer, we'll go a little more detailed. Okay. So these are the learning outcomes. First learning outcome: characteristics of human capital and financial capital and components of individual's total wealth. So we know that total wealth of an individual it would be made of human capital plus financial capital. Now, if you decide to put them on a graph, okay, so this is your wealth in dollar terms, and this is your lifespan. So then you would see that human capital graph would look somewhat like this. So when you've just started your career, the value of human capital will be very high for most of you, I mean most of us, correct? So why it is high? Because present value of all the future cash flows to be discounted, so number of remaining years of work life are higher. But as you progress and as you move towards retirement, the value of human capital is going to reduce. Is that making sense to you? But as against this, so if this is human capital, as against this, the financial capital works in the other way around. With financial capital, initially the value would be very less because you've just started working, you do not have sufficient portfolio. But as you move towards retirement, because of accumulation, your financial capital will start increasing. So total wealth is made of both HC and FC. Human capital is discounted present value of expected future labor income. Estimation includes the future amount, the probability individual will be alive to earn it, and discount rate related to riskiness of the amount. Okay, so for example, if I had to estimate a human capital value of an individual, what I'll do is I will take mortality tables built by the actuaries. Okay, so those mortality tables, I'll show you one. I think there's an author called John Hull. Heard of him? So he has a book on risk management where he has given a very good calculation of how it works. So I'll show you one table very soon. So in that, let's say you have a client whose current age is 30. So then you can pull out those mortality tables and they give you probability of what is the probability that client will live for one more year. Probability that he will live for one more year after one more year. Are you following this? So you first estimate what is his current salary, then estimate a expected compensation growth rate. What is the rate at which salary will grow? Then you adjust that for probability, because if he is not alive, then there is no point of taking that. So you scale those numbers for probability. Then you figure out what type of profession he is in. Is he in like, let's say a profession like, can you think of some highly risky job? Mine workers? Surgeons. Isn't that like a safe job? Okay, if you think things go wrong. Okay. A pilot, okay. How about stockbrokers? Is it a risky profession? Yeah, I think so. Right? So then if it's risky, use a higher discount rate to discount it backwards. But if you have, let's say, a government of Maharashtra job, or if you're an employee of Bank of Maharashtra, then it's a relatively stable job. So then depending on the riskiness of the profession, you discount it backwards and then you have an estimate of the human capital. Are we okay with this? Financial capital is the sum of all other assets of an individual.